Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode 10 review. This is Couples Couch with
Pat.
And I'm Cam. Let's get into last week's episode. We're going to give you a quick recap of what happened last week before we talk about last night's episode. In last week's episode, episode 9, the couples were only married for 19 days. Amelia and Bennett revealed they had sex. Olivia is irritated with Brett's sarcasm and everything. Christina told Henry she has ADD. Miles joked with Karen about having sex and added it to the calendar on their fridge. And she said she felt disrespected, and that's how the episode ended. Let's get into last night's episode to see what happened with them now. All right, let's get into episode 10. So another high-level overview this will be. We're only going over the high points of the entire 2-hour episode. So let's get into it. So the episode opens up. The couples have been married 3 weeks now. The couples are living their everyday lives, and they're beginning to discover their habits and routines of their spouses. Yeah. Next scene shows Amani doing her hair while Woody is watching. Then Christina and Henry are folding towels. Then Amelia and Bennett are at their place splitting up chores. And then Bennett reveals that he feels Amelia is pretty messy, so I don't believe that he's into that. He said he's pretty much a tidy person and she's the polar opposite. That comes with all marriages. That's normal. It's very normal.
I'm tidy.
I'm always clean. So, always. This one here, a mess. Brett and Olivia are in their bed, and they begin to make their bed. And Brett decides to help Olivia, and then she gets annoyed at his help.
I don't think that's a thing.
It is.
So tag goes near the top of the bed or the bottom of the bed?
Bottom of the bed.
Got it. It should be tag side down, right?
I don't think it really matters. It annoys me a little bit when he helps me put the bed sheets on. But something I do by myself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he kind of was getting annoying a little bit.
He was.
Was the tag go here? It was passive aggressive.
Yeah, I think so, because he was like, is the tag go at the top or the bottom, for the sheets?
Yeah.
And she's like, it doesn't really matter. Like, she's starting to roll her eyes and get kind of, how she does that face. And she's just like trying to take her deep breaths or whatever. But I also feel like, Olivia is still thinking like marriage is a fairy tale. And the Hallmark Channel is selling people a dream to think that marriage or relationships are just bliss 24/7. That is not the case, people. Do not get sold a dream. Again, I believe she thought it was going to be a fairy tale. That's not the case.
And again, you're 3 weeks into this thing.
Right, you're getting to know each other. Like, that's...
Naked and afraid. They go 21 days no food.
Exactly.
Calm down.
Exactly. Anyways, let's move on to the next scene. Next scene shows Miles waking up and making the bed alone at his apartment or their apartment. Karen decided to not come home. She didn't sleep at home because she said she felt disrespected by Miles's comment from last week's episode about intimacy.
Last night, I did not stay at the apartment with Miles. I decided to stay at my place. He made me really upset with some of the comments that he made and things that he did at dinner.
Put it on the calendar.
What are you putting right there?
Sex with my
Saturday.
Sex with my wife.
Miles to give himself a hand.
It's just making me question what his true intentions are, or even just what type of person he is. Like, are you able to be that patient guy, or what really was your intent behind what you did?
I just think that she went way, way, way overboard.
Love should have brought you home last night.
Like, seriously. Like,
yeah.
What are you... to say you're not coming home for the night because he made, a joke that you didn't find funny. I'm not going to say that you should have found it funny, but you could have saw that he was literally joking with you,
From Miles, I'm literally done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, emotionally shut down, checked out, all of that. Like, she went too far. Apparently, he was joking. He didn't mean no harm by you. He wasn't trying to do anything to you, you know?
She making all this up. She's a drama queen. She get on my nerves from day one, and I'm done with her, and I think Miles should be done with her too.
I think so too, because I feel like she went way too far, and she just took it to a level that it didn't have to go to. Yeah. And I don't think that's fair on him, because he wasn't trying to do nothing to her.
And then she's like, well, what were his intentions? Please tell me you don't think it was to cheat you out of sex. He going through all this for you?
Yeah.
You're not that important.
I mean, he could have not had gotten married, not go through the process, and just found somebody to have a one-night stand with. Anyways, let's move on to the next scene. Next scene shows Woody and Amani. They're in their kitchen at home, and the topic of disciplining their kids, or just kids in general, comes up. And Woody talks about how he used to get a whooping every day. And Amani talks about how she never got whoopings, and she doesn't believe in them because she thinks it's corporal punishment.
Sitting there looking like Snoop from The Wire.
I got a whooping every day.
You believe in whooping kids?
Do I believe in whooping kids?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if you do something, I feel like you deserve some form of a consequence. I mean, I ain't saying like stomp your kid out, beat him. I think sometimes you need a little spanking, you know, a little tap. Because it taught me how to balance things, and it taught me like, nah, I don't do this thing. I think that like a whooping every now and then is definitely needed.
I didn't get whooped though.
Anyway,
I'm like,
do what you want with your kids. It's good they're having this conversation, because I guess for her, that's a stickler. So me and her wouldn't work out, because I'm not raising no bad kids.
I love where Woody was like, I think they definitely need a little tap.
Little tap tap.
These toddlers and these little kids, I'm sorry. I think I'm in agreement with Woody. They do need a little tap, because they will try you. Yeah. These little kids are not the same.
That timeout game will have you get red in the
timeout
face, embarrassed when the kids go off on you in front of people.
Did you get timeout growing up?
Yeah, I got timeout. Right after I got knocked out.
Let's move on to the next scene. Next scene shows Karen is now back home with Miles. You're already shaking your head. And she decides that she wants to talk to him on the couch about what happened and why she didn't come home.
You writing sex on the calendar and stuff, I was really pissed off that sex at some point is gonna come up. But like, we just kissed, you know, for the first time a few days ago. And I know for me, in that moment, like, I felt unsafe.
Knowing someone for a few weeks, whether you're my husband or not, does not really grant you access to me physically. So I felt disrespected in our own home, where I'm supposed to feel safe and protected.
So she proceeds to say that she didn't come home because in that moment, the comment he made her feel unsafe. Now, if Dramatic was a person,
if getting up and closing the door behind me as I walk out the apartment was a person, I'm out. I don't want no parts.
Yeah,
there's no way that your argument makes me want to move forward with you.
No.
You're over dramatic, which can get people in trouble.
Big trouble.
Because if you would have said those same words in front of the law enforcement, somebody would have been handcuffed for no reason.
That man would have been handcuffed for sure.
You got too much vocabulary for your own good.
At a minimum, handcuffed.
Yeah.
The way things are going these days, you don't know what would have happened.
So I'm just not dealing with a person like that.
Yeah. I
don't want them in my life.
I don't like when you unconsciously make really harsh comments and don't realize the impact those words can have.
And she almost apologized. She didn't really apologize for using the word, but she kind of softens up and says she's gonna do it and all this other junk later. But listen, you already showed me your true colors, and I'm gonna rock with that. Maybe I'm missing out on something, maybe I'm not. But
on to the next.
Yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And with that being said, let's move on to the next scene.
Yeah, bring the professionals in. We can speed this up. I don't need 8 weeks to tell you I'm out.
Let's go to the next scene. So the next few scenes show the couples out on like a day date with each other, and And then there are some scenes where the couples are out on date nights separately. So let's talk about the day dates first. So first, a few of the couples go out to have like crawfish.
They could have went somewhere else because crawfish, it was disgusting. The white cracker. Hey, nobody want to watch that when you're trying to talk to people. You could have went to like, I don't know, use some utensils.
Some Olive Garden or something. But so they're there having crawfish as a group, and then they have Amani and Henry kind of bridge off and go have like a sit down where he begins to tell Amani about how he feels about Christina, and he says that Christina's impatience is really a deal breaker for him, and if she doesn't resolve her impatience, there's 0% chance that they will make it.
That part is a deal breaker. Lately, she's been a lot better, but in order for us to even have a shot, that has to resolve itself in some type of way. If that doesn't resolve itself, honestly, there's like, to be frank, there's 0% chance of hope.
Damn.
Yeah.
And
of
Amani
course,
was like, damn.
and of course, Armani's going to go back and give it to her in a manner that makes it sound worse than what it was.
Yeah.
And Christina, because...
It's called hearsay.
Yeah. And Christina, I get it because she doesn't get a lot from him face to face. So anything you get could be over...
It could be a dagger to the side.
So I get it, but you have to use your head too, because what he said was that's a deal breaker for him. She's working on it, and if she can overcome it, then we're good. But it's a deal breaker, and they made it seem like he was bad or he was saying the relationship was over because he said something was a deal breaker. If Kamara, I don't know if she went out to clubs all the time, it would be a deal breaker.
Right.
But if she stayed, she didn't go out to like it's not. I'm not saying I'm done.
Right.
Messing up the plant and everything.
Killing my plant in the meantime.
He's not saying they're done. He's just saying it's a deal breaker.
Yeah, and I mean he's entitled to feel how he feels, right? So Christina gets home.
He said what? He never told me that.
So Christina gets home and she confronts Henry on what Amani told her, and she begins to ask him, like, do you even see a future with me?
Now, for myself, do you even see a future with me?
It's like I'm not. Like if you're asking me to make a decision right now, like no.
Then why even like stick around?
And he's like, well, if you're asking for me to make a decision right now in this moment, the answer is no. If given the wrong answer at the wrong time was a person.
So.
Like, why would you say this, Henry? Like but then he tries to back it up or smooth it over, like you say, with, we're in the process and we're trying to learn, and I'm trying to work on it.
I'm trying to stay on this show a little bit longer for my branding. Or he's really dedicated to this process in Christina, but we shall see. Next scene shows Woody and Miles in the barbershop, and Miles is talking to Woody about what happened the other night with the comment about intimacy with Karen. And I just love Woody's spirit. Woody's hilarious.
Oh my God, his facial expressions throughout this entire scene are priceless.
She was so upset, and she chose not to come home that night.
How did you feel?
Bro, pissed. But I didn't expect her to
not come up.
Right. Because I think it rolled in reverse. And I said, I'm not going home. Like, what's the narrative then? You know what I'm saying? So like, it bothered me. It frustrated me. If I tell Karen, hey Karen, like, I really like you, she'll say, oh, thanks.
Do you think she like you back?
Yes, bro. She does not want to get hurt again.
She like you back.
It was like, if I tell Karen that I really like her, she'll be like, oh, thanks. Woody's like, you think she like you back?
Neither do we, Woody. Neither do we.
Is that him being his friend could be like, yo, I don't think she likes you, dude. He's trying to tell him, but not definitely telling him, you know?
Just keep your wallet and your shoes by the front door.
And your keys. Yeah, but I think Woody already sees through how she is. And his
Who
facial
doesn't?
expression. Yeah, his facial.
Except for emotionally intelligent moms.
So the next scene shows another date night happening for Amelia and Bennett, and he decides to invite his friends over for to serenade Amelia.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh.
These mysterious creatures enter our apartment.
And I invited them to come here and sing some songs for you, some beautiful tunes that I thought you'd like. Yeah.
Okay, this is for you. When I was young, they told me my body was just a holding cell.
I didn't know what was coming in the door when.
I know what wouldn't have been coming in my door.
I
Your
mean,
little friend
once
gonna have to
you
come
get
out of
the-
costume before she come here.
You got the other one in this weird.
Jesus lives in this house.
No, wait. Amelia was like, I thought they were going to do a magic trick or something for
What
me.
magic? What?
I didn't know what was happening myself. I'll be honest.
Nah.
When I saw those two people coming in dressed like that, the last thing I thought they were going to do was sing a song.
Not here.
Like, she's easily impressed by anything Bennett does for her.
Well, that's good because the boy lived in a box.
So, and she was amazed with that. So,
No, they're
I mean,
made for each other.
Yeah, kudos to
two,
them.
Yeah, those two, I think they'll be all right.
They will be. Let's move on to the next scene. Next scene, it looks like Karen and Miles are on a date at the yoga studio, and they're doing yoga.
And I want to be able to do things to make him feel special. I'm definitely attracted to Miles, and I do want to have physical intimacy with my husband.
Take care.
How you feeling over there, Miles?
I'm good.
What's up?
Nice.
They wouldn't have been able to use none of the footage from the waist down if they had Kamara rubbing and caressing on me. I don't care in front of the whole studio.
You are a fool.
I'll be there.
I mean, it was getting kind of intimate in this
Oh,
yoga
yeah, you start
studio.
rubbing
This is
on
a different
both
kind of
my earlobes
and caressing your back. And,
yeah, I
and
got
your
joggers
arm.
on. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
This is a different type of yoga than I'm used to. I thought it was going to be some downward dog going on in there.
Definitely. If it wasn't going on in there, it would have been in a location nearby.
I'm done. Seeing Olivia and Brett are on date night. It looks like some type of club, right?
Yeah.
Where they do trivia and answer questions.
It looks like the most horrible date ever.
And Brett looks like that's exactly how he feels.
This isn't really trivia.
It is. It'll get there. This isn't really trivia.
At all.
I would have been Brett 100 times.
You don't want to be there answering none of these
No,
questions.
even I wouldn't. He was wrong by saying it's not trivia. I don't care if it's trivia or what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it at all. His face
Ash
was
test tube. Y'all are stupid.
Yeah.
And I want to go home.
he was like, this isn't trivia at all. Like, and they were like, this is trivia.
He says it's not trivia. he says it's not trivia.
And they were getting pissed.
Yeah, it would have been a whole bunch of who in the hell are you?
Olivia's
and here's
face was
another
sour.
thing. If y'all are friends with Olivia, talk to her. She gets to do exactly what I want to do. Sit back.
That would have
I don't know that ish.
That would have been you at trivia.
Yeah. Ask me this. Somebody getting paid for the right answer? No, well then.
Taking of nowhere.
Y'all ain't giving no free pictures or wings or nothing. No,
Wingdings.
Yeah, and the dude asking the question with the circle thing. Get the hell out of here.
It was his mustache.
Yeah, I know, but it was circled off.
It was turned.
The party wasn't turned like his mustache.
Let's go to the next
Oh, I thought you would.
Let's go to...
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
Next scene. Bennett are out at the park or something, and they're talking about their pet peeves with each other, and Bennett reveals that she doesn't wash cups good enough. Like, she only washes, I guess, the inside of the cup. She doesn't wash the outside of the cup.
When you wash the dishes, the part that you don't use on the dishes is still a little dirty. It's like the outside of the glass will sometimes have a little bit of grime on it.
Brutal. Seriously? I guess I have to start washing the outside of the cups as well. Well,
Really? A such thing as washing something good enough? Either you washed it or it's dirty.
And y'all wonder why I don't eat or drink at people's house?
Thank you. I washed the inside of it. Don't worry about the outside. Well, I'm supposed to pour it? Ugh.
She's like, apparently I have to wash the outsides of the cup as well. And this is why we ain't drinking nothing from your house, Amelia.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking about? So he begins to tell her, or ask her, like, tell me things that what are your pet peeves with me? And she couldn't come up with nothing. And this is why I know she ain't been married long enough. Because somebody asked me right now, tell me some stuff that
ain't
annoy
nobody
you.
asked, so don't nobody want to hear it.
I could start. How much you want to know? How much time you got? I love you. Let's move on to the next scene. Last final scenes of this episode. Woody and Amani are on their date, and he brings up like love and does she feel some kind of way because he told her I love you early, and she was like, no, I'm just not there yet, so I don't mind it or whatever.
She said no and yes.
Yeah, yes and no, because she was like, I don't want to feel pressured, and I don't want you to fall out of love with me too and all that. And then he was like, good, because it ain't like you can divorce me like that anyway.
It ain't like you can say peace out. We're married.
why can't
You married to me.
I could say peace out?
You gotta file. You gotta do a lot of documentation. You gotta do counseling
What
sessions.
if I want to do that?
Well, at least you gotta process it and involved in the situation at all. You can't just say peace out, I'm out, because I told you that one thing.
She was like, I can leave you if I want to. And she was like, no, you can't, because you got to file paperwork, you got to do counseling, she was like, and I can do that.
Yeah, it ain't that hard.
Right, it's not that serious. So, and I don't think he was expecting her to have that reaction, but I love Amani. She keeps it so 100. She was like, that can be done if I don't want to be here. But apparently she wants to be there, but she want to let him know too, like, you ain't telling me nothing.
But it can all be done at the 8-week mark. So
yeah, that's true. All right, so last scene is Henry and Christina at their house, and they're just talking and having some alone time. And then Henry and Christina decide that, you know what, they do want to try to work it out, and they do feel like they can make it. So they say, because they are so wishy-washy. 1 minute they hot, 1 minute they cold. I can't keep up with them, so I'm not putting no faith in that last conversation they had at the end of the episode, because next week they'll be falling out again.
We shall see.
1000%. All right, you guys, that's the end of this episode. Let us know what you thought about episode 10. Drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you have to say? You're just looking crazy.
I'm excited for next week. I'm just thinking about everything going on. Like,
you were processing it.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of Karen. Like, she even, I gotta give it, she kind of comes around towards the end of this episode. We didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But she kind of comes around. But it's kind of one of those things, there's so much
wrong done.
Yeah, then
you just don't even want to give it a chance anymore.
I can't trust you.
I know.
Not in this world we live in. I can't. You can't be my A1 day one.
Not acting like this and using those kind of words like unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you trying to get me locked up.
Locked up.
They won't let me out. Hey.
I ain't trying to hit that last note. right, y'all. We'll
All
see
right.
y'all.
Thanks for watching. We love you guys for watching. Be sure to drop your comments in the comment section below. We'll see you next week. Bye, you guys.